let's install AllIsOne. To start, you're going to need Anaconda or Miniconda and Git. The steps I'm going to show you guys today deal directly with installing AI1. So first, we're going to clone this GitHub repo from this URL. So the way to do that is once you're on this page, click on this green button here that says code, HTTPS, click the copy button next to this link here, copy, boom. And then you're going to open your command prompt or terminal of choice, go to the folder that you want to actually clone your stuff into, and type git clone, paste the link in. So it says cloning, receiving the objects, and then boom, you've got your folder. So you can type ls here, see that AllIsOne folder has been cloned over. Now, the second part in the instructions is to actually go into the server folder inside AllIsOne. So we're going to type cd AllIsOne, which means change directory. And after pressing enter, you see we're in server folder. Now it says to run conda env create -n ai1 -- file environment.yaml. So we're going to copy that. And what this does is it tells Anaconda to create us a new environment using this file that's in the server folder. So I'm going to press enter here, and it's going to perform a bunch of installation. This part's going to take a while because it's downloading a lot of files. All right, okay. So now that the environment is installed, we can activate it with just this command, conda activate AI1. And you should see that it says AI1 over here now. So the next step is to get your authentication token from this link over here. So what this token is going to let you do is the server, when it runs, you can tell it to download models for you from Hugging Face. But first you need a token so that the server knows how to access these models. So go ahead and create a Hugging Face account. It's totally free. And then go to this page over here, and we're gonna click new token. You can see I already have one for AllIsOne. I'm just gonna make another one, call it AI1. Read permission is good enough. Generate token. All right, so just like that, you have your token here. You can click copy to copy the link, or to copy the actual token. It's kind of like a password. And then we're going to create a .env file in the server folder, and we're going to type hf token equals and then whatever your token is. So I'm going to open this folder in my Explorer. I can do that with Explorer dot. And then inside here, we're just going to create a new text document called .env. And then we're going to edit it. And you're going to say hf token equals, and then paste whatever your token here. So I put my own token in this file. You should have yours in here also. And then we're just going to run Python server.py, which opens and runs the server in the background. And then we should be good to go. Boom. So it says, go to this link in your browser. Let's do it. All right. So your first time in AllIsOne, you'll see this welcome screen here that says, to get started, you'll need to set up your base model. So you can either download one from Hugging Face, or you can convert an existing checkpoint. Got it, let's go. So you see over here, our base model is empty because we haven't installed anything yet. In order to use text to image and image to image, you're going to need the base model here. the available downloads include SD 2.1, the 512 version, which is a good base model. So we're going to click download here and install it. If you want to download some of the other models to test them out, or you even want to download one of your own, you can do that down here. Some of you may like the original Stable Diffusion model. The link to that would be comp viz/stable diffusion -v1-4, and then you can type whatever you want here. And then if you click the download button here, it'll just download and install this model for you instead. Today we're going to go with the new Stable Diffusion 2.1 model. So I'm going to select it right here. And now you can see text to image and image to image are lit up. So let's generate something. I'm going to go for some digital wallpaper here. So I'm going to do a digital painting of, let's do some giant frozen mountains. Blue and white light particles. Then for some modifier words, I'm going to go to the prompt help here and see what else we can get. And then over here in the number of batches, I'm going to drag it up to 4 so that it creates 4 images for me. For the prompt weight, 7.5 is a good amount. So let's click procedural submit or quick submit. In this case, it's the same thing. I'll talk about this more later. And if you want, you can open up the server and see what it's doing. But it'll be shown up over here too. All right, here comes our art. You can click this batch display here to show all of them. All right, very nice. I think the one that I like most is this. So I'm gonna show you guys how you can extend this into a full wallpaper. We can send it to image over here. And you can see your input is 512 by 512. But what we're gonna do here actually is we're gonna increase the dimensions of this image by a bit. Make it a bit more of a landscape. Maybe keep the height the same. That way I can go even bigger on the sides. And then over here, we're just going to check Outpainting so that it knows to extend the image to the black portions over here. Click Confirm. So you'll notice it says no outpainting model. So we have to go configure our outpainting model. So outpainting is a specific form of inpainting that requires an inpainting model. So the SD2 Inpainting worked very well. All right, installed. So now for outpainting, we can select SD2 Inpainting. And then back over here, it'll now tell us we're using that. So I'm going to copy this over here, since we can pretty much use the same prompt. Prompt weight, set it to 7.5. Number of batches, let's grab 4 of these. Let's go. All right, so the pictures are starting to roll in. And you can see it outpaints it pretty well. And this one looks like it tried to add a second moon, but the other ones look pretty good. Wow, yeah, look at that. So lastly, to finish off our wallpaper, if you were to open this picture up, you can see that it's not made to be scaled up to a very large size because it's only a 768 by 512. So we can use the editing tab to perform an upscale. We can resize it with AI so that we can improve the quality of the image at a higher resolution. So click the arrow here, click send to editing. We're not going to do face restoration, although that is another feature you can play around with. We're going to go to upscale and drag this sync dimensions all the way to 4 to get this giant image, and we're just going to submit it. All right, so if we compare these two images, you can see that when you scaled it up, this one looks a little bit grainier than this one. And we can click this folder button over here to actually check out the image that's been generated. And if you examine the details of it, you can see that it's a much larger image than it came out, or it's a much larger image than the input. So lastly, I'm going to show you guys how you can convert your own checkpoint. So some of you guys might have a fine-tuned model that's better at drawing faces or humans or whatever it's been trained on, and you have a custom .ckpt file. So the .ckpt, the .checkpoint file, is not compatible with diffusers natively. Diffusers is the library that Hugging Face uses. To solve that, we can very easily just convert the checkpoint file. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. We click this folder over here to open the folder that we need to put the checkpoints into. And then you're in a separate window, I'm going to find the checkpoint I have prepared. This one's called InkPunk. And it's going to be right in this models folder here. If you click here, you don't see it. Refresh local files. All right. So the local save name, I'm just going to call it InkPunk. And it was not trained for Inpainting, so do not check this, and click Convert. So InkPunk is this cool model that I found on Hugging Face to generate images that kind of look like this. It says to use NV InkPunk in your prompts. So I'm going to copy this over here. All right, so it's done converting. See, name exists. So select it under the base model right here. And let's go back to text to image and just append InkPunk to the end of this. Now with this model, let's see what the images of the exact same seed turn out to be. You can click this copy settings button here. And it'll just copy exactly what we used to including the seed. Got rid of our extra token over there. Let's put that back in. All right, now let's send it. Yeah, so you can really see that this model has a different style than the other one. They don't even look that similar, but there's like a little bit of similarity between the two. InkPunk's got this really great cartoony effect where the lines are very in the colors. All right, so I'm feeling like we should add a little something to this image. So I'm gonna click send to image, add NV InkPunk here. I'm gonna say digital painting of an Arctic fox prowling through the giant frozen mountains. To get this Arctic fox in, I'm gonna do a little bit of inpainting. So inpainting is one of those things that is a little bit more complicated, because even though all you do is brush in what you want, the knowledge of the correct settings to use and what sorts of images are good for inpainting can take a little bit of getting used to. So if it doesn't work on your first try, don't be too discouraged. We're going to be using the legacy inpainting here, because what this is going to do is it will use a base model that isn't even trained for inpainting, and it'll inpaint with it. So the results will be a little varied, but it will allow you to use any model you want to inpaint. To test out a couple different settings here, I'm going to click the plus button on denoising strength so we can test, let's test a 0.56 strength, let's test a 0.73 strength, and let's test a 0.92 strength. So we can see very quickly what sorts of images we will get at different strengths, and we'll turn the number of batches down to 1. So you'll see that procedural submit now is offering us 4 different configurations and 4 images. You can bring it up to 4. It'll give you 16 images, but we're going to go with 1 batch each here, and click procedural submit, not quick submit. Procedural. Okay, so you can see over here that only the 0.93 Fox really showed up for 0.73, 0.56, 0.4. I'm guessing the fox that the AI was trying to stick in here was too big. So you can see it kind of showed up for this one. No worries though. What we could do instead is try another one of these images where maybe the fox would be put in somewhere more reasonable. So erase the original mask and put the fox over here maybe. Copy the original settings. Ah, oops. Okay, copy everything but the mask. Let's do two different generations of two different batches. Okay, so it looks like on some of them we did get some foxes. We could probably refine this by maybe inpainting this one away and letting this one's ears grow out a little bit. Why don't we do that real quick? So with this one, I'll first remove the fox in the prompt. Digital painting of giant frozen mountains. And then the negative will say fox. So check this out. Maybe we'll do two of these like this. Set this back to -1. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see here that it successfully removed the fox, but with each inpainting iteration, it's slowly degrading the quality of our image. That is because we are using a legacy inpainting method. But it's actually not too bad because you can feed it in the same prompt without the inpainting and it'll usually restore some of the quality. So digital painting of an Arctic fox prowling through giant frozen mountains. And since we want the image to retain most of the same stuff, just make it better quality, we want to turn the denoising down. So let's try a 0.32 and a 0.41 and see what we get. Two batches of each. All right, very nice. Can try extending this one. Maybe zoom out on it a little bit. Extend this to a little 640 by 640. Now it's going to be doing the SD2 Inpainting for outpainting. Get that out of the negative prompt. Let's go. Looks like it's got some different ideas on how to outpaint this portion. But luckily, what we can do is we can take this and we can change the model that we pass this through. So now that we've used SD 2.0's outpainting, we can once again just use the InkPunk base model by not outpainting. And by feeding it in the same thing, we can easily get the style back. You can see over here that there are some words that we don't really want to see, and the prompt help section should actually be able to help us out with that. You go to prompt help, you go to black magic, and remove watermarks, and under negative prompt, it'll just give you this. For this one, the denoising strength could be important. Let's test a couple different configurations. You'll notice that in the last generation here, the two images like this are exactly the same. And that's actually because when you do the outpainting with Stable Diffusion 2.0, the denoising strength here does not actually affect the image. But now that we're going back to regular inpainting, it will work exactly the same. Wow. Okay, so you see that with the higher denoising strength, the 0.68, the fox was kind of deleted entirely, and switch for something else. Although the background becomes a lot cooler. Whereas in the lower ones, the fox remains, but things like this cloud, which we don't really want here, are still there. This one looks pretty cool though. So why don't we go upscale that one and call it a day. Send to editing. Maybe we'll try a little face restoration and upscale it to nice 2560 by 2560. We're going to use some of this blending here, the lane coast blending. Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. What this is going to do is for the very finely textured parts, like the hairs, sometimes the AI, when upscaling, will make it too liney and it'll lose some of the graininess. This image is pretty liney by itself, so it's not really necessary, but we can see how it affects the image a little bit. All right, got our awesome upscaled fox over here. Look at the details on that eye. So there's plenty more you could do from here. You could outpaint this, inpaint this logo away, inpaint the cloud away, try passing it through the model again, try changing the prompt up. If you combine this with regular image editing techniques, the possibilities are endless. But yeah, there's tons more you could do over here if you wanted. That's it for this demo. Currently, AllIsOne is available on Windows, and it's working in testing on Mac. So for the Mac users out there, stay tuned, and we'll have a video for you guys soon. And enjoy!